Welcome, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, to another episode. It's your boy LS3. This is Medicine Ball. Hold up, let me hear that beat drop. Yes, welcome, Medicine Ball with LS3 to be exact. And if you ain't in shape, at least your brain should be. Where we focus on giving your brain a six pack. That's right. We talk about everything related to mental health. Whether you're somebody who's diagnosed with a mental health illness, dealing with depression or anxiety, or maybe you know somebody who's dealing with those type of things, we are your place to discuss it. I am not a psychiatrist or psychologist or a therapist, but I am somebody who has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder 1 for 15 years, and I got a little insight, so hopefully I'm able to give you some life hacks to deal with this thing that we call life. If you're new here, we talk about anything related to mental health, man. Anything you want to know at all, how to deal with it. But more importantly, we talk about being a better person, learning how to view things from a different angle, different perspective, and learning how to advance in your thinking every day. All right? So, I appreciate you guys, man. You could have been anywhere in the world today and you chose to be with me, and I never take that lightly. Today's episode, the 10th episode, the workout plan. That's right. We focus at working out your brain here at Medicine Ball, but what does that mean? What can you do to work your brain out? So let's get it. The workout. Podcast 10. Thank you guys for rocking with me. We got much more to go. Medicine Ball. So, I'm always talking about working out your brain. Give your brain a six pack. And people are reaching out to me and they're asking me like, what do you mean by that? What can I do to work out my brain on a daily basis? Or, what are some ideas? Give me an example of that. So I want to preface this by saying, with my diagnosis of bipolar comes a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, racing thoughts, mania, just a lot of ups and downs. So I find that with me choosing not to go the medicine route necessarily, this is really helpful for me, and these are things and the kind of an idea of what you can do to just the idea is to condition your brain and your way of thinking to do something different, to look at it from a different angle. Just try it. So these are things that I do with my anxiety and sometimes racing thoughts that can happen with me. I find that these things that I practice have really helped put things into perspective. And now I'm conditioned to just like every opportunity or every chance at adversity, I'm going to think about it. Whether I'm right or wrong, I always find time where I'm reflecting about it. So here's some things we're going to do. The workout. How can we get your brain a six pack? The warm up. So the first seg, we're going to talk about the warm up. And just like if you go to the gym or start your car in the morning, you got to get going. Hopefully, if you at the gym, you just don't hop on the treadmill and take off running 7 miles an hour for 2 miles, or jumping on the bench press machine and starting with 300. With 300 pounds, and there's a reason for that. You're not properly warmed up, and it could cause some an injury. Right, you're doing too much, and it's going to end up being uncomfortable. So just like that, when it comes to doing things with your brain, when I do activities and situations where I know I'm about to focus on it, and just in general, you always want to do a warm up. So here's a couple of ideas. The one thing that I do is listening to music without lyrics or nature sounds. So some of the people who know me, they think it's weird. Some people, they don't understand it. Some people think it's okay. They think it's cool. It relaxes them or whatnot. But I have a little bit of an explanation of why specifically without lyrics. So I'm also into music. So with that being said, I'm ability to work with music. I have a specific ear. I listen for different things when it comes to just life in general, but especially with music. So when you're listening to music without lyrics, then typically the lyrics can distract you from the actual song. When you're listening to music without lyrics, it allows you to hear multiple sounds, and that just stimulates your brain. So you may see hear a little triangle, just that one thing that you might not necessarily hear, that allows you to explore. So it's almost like a piece of art. You go deeper into it. And with that, it distances your brain from the racing thoughts that you might be having, whether you're thinking about your day or a bill you have to pay or a relationship. And you're somebody who maybe can't slow your racing thoughts. I find for me that getting into, sounds and music without lyrics, I like classical music, nature sounds. when I start listening to it, it opens up a part of my brain, and then I find myself immersed in the music. If I'm listening to a stream running and they hear birds, I hear one bird, and next thing you know, I'm listening for a frog. It distracts you slowly from those racing thoughts as opposed to just stopping and then, not dealing with those racing thoughts, which some people find a little bit difficult, especially when you first start. So that's the first thing it does. It opens up and stimulates your brain. And the second thing is it distances your brain from racing thoughts. The natural vibrations, you'll be able to hear other vibrations, especially with headphones. That also stimulates you and your brain. The vibe can, get you going and open you up to a different sensation. So, listening to music without lyrics or just sounds in general, I mean, heck, if you live near the city, you may think, "Hey, I can't listen." Just turn everything off and listen out your window. Listen to the it's the same thing. It distracts you from those racing thoughts and it gives you an ability to stimulate your brain with things that you can't see but you're hearing. All right? The second thing I do is a breathing exercise. All right? So, I know how a majority of people feel about meditation, so I point out a breathing exercise that I created for myself, and it may sound a little bit corny, but it helps me. All right. So what I do is when I slow my breathing, right? When I blow out all of the air, blow out all the air in your lungs, before I immediately go for that next breath that your body craves and your body needs, I pause. I don't immediately inhale that next breath. And when pausing, I think to myself about how precious breathing is, how precious oxygen is, how beautiful is it for the body to be able to breathe. You see what I mean? And it makes you it makes me be more appreciative. Just a little pause until I really need to breathe in. And then with that, I also think about, it's precious. It's a beautiful thing. It puts you into the moment. It puts you into the now. It helps you slow down and think about what's going on. It brings in clarity on being appreciative, man, and taking nothing for granted. And usually, if you're about to start doing some things about, changing your thinking and your perception, being appreciative and learning how to be, taking nothing for granted and loving the things that you have available to you, it really opens you up. It's like an empathy thing, and empathy is something I'm very, very big on. And what that does is it makes you more sensitive to other people's feelings, emotions, as well as your own feelings and your emotions. And just something as simple as that. We're not even going as far as a meditation. Just, hey, sit there, breathe. Before you breathe in again, hold your breath. Not hold your breath, but pause before you breathe in until you really need the oxygen. And then realize, man, it's a blessing to be able to take every breath as I sit here and not think about it. Because it truly is. And most people don't appreciate that until it's gone. So this is a way to kind of put things in perspective for you. The third thing that I do is I do with Chinese meditation balls. Chinese meditation balls. So a lot of people have seen the box, but they don't know what's in it. Um, some people keep money in it, other things in it, but you can go Google it. Chinese meditation balls. Now, disclaimer: before I get into this, I'm new to really like how to use them. I've had them and just played around with them, but it's been not so long since I was like, hey, let me go look at YouTube videos and research the meaning behind it and whatnot. So I do not know all the specifics about it, but I'm going to mention the things that I know, and if not, what helps me with what I'm doing, because that's the other thing this is about, man. You have to do what works for you. So I'm just trying to give you some ideas to stimulate and get you going thought wise, but you got to do what works with you. So if anybody's listening and you know more about it and I'm saying something wrong or whatnot, feel free to reach out with me. But the Chinese meditation balls, so they're the little balls, and they can be made out of a lot of things. I have a set of jade ones, and then I have a set of metal ones that have little bells in them, and they come in different sizes. And to our my black people out there, all right, and well, anybody who's seen Boys in the Hood, there's a scene where there's a guy, Trey, his Cuba Gooding Jr., and his father is Lawrence Fishburne, and Trey goes out to go get revenge on somebody for shooting Ricky, and Lawrence Fishburne is in there and he's spinning the balls around in his hand. Those are Chinese meditation balls. What he has there. What I do is I rotate them, and I've learned a bunch of different ways you can get out of it. So it's like once you start being able to rotate them one way in your hand without touching, then try to do them rotating with touching and try to make it not make noise. I've heard that they can touch. I've heard some people say that they're not supposed to. I practice both ways. And it stimulates because it gives you an activity to do that actually focuses your concentration, circulation, get your mind away from any racing thoughts or anything stopping you from what you got going on. And it's so many things you can do. So if you learn how to rotate them one way in one hand, learn the other way. Learn to rotate them without touching. Learn to rotate them with touching. And what I do is sometimes if I just need to cool down, I just rotate them until it's calm, a calm, consistent, steady motion where I can hear the little bells lightly. Now they shouldn't be clinking together or anything, but anytime I start maybe dropping one or they start clinking together, that's a cue to me like, hey man, you slow down. You got too much going on. And it kind of keys me to my mood at the time. So there's Chinese meditation balls, man, and I know a lot of people, you can get them on Amazon or whatnot, but it just gives me a way to focus on things. And my mind is kind of conditioned to where when I take them out, my brain already knows, like, okay, we about to do something serious here. We're about to switch up how we think. We're about to deal with a situation in a specific way, man. So that's another one. So that was a couple of things for you guys on the warm up, man, because we just getting started. Listening to the music or nature sounds without lyrics. That's the first thing. Allows you to open your brain, visualize, most importantly, get you focused on anything that might away from anything that might be racing in your head and bothering you. Second thing, my breathe easy technique. When you breathe out, pause until you really need that breath of air and then realize how precious it is that you something you take for granted that easily can be taken away from you. Opens you up to be more sensitive. The third thing I do is the Chinese meditation balls, man. I'm into weird things like that, but there's ultimately other things you can do because the idea is if you take the time out to even look at things that could get your mind to start warming up and thinking differently, you've already mastered the first step, which is wanting to do something about it, all right? So, this is the warm up, guys. And this next seg, it's time to get to the heavy lifting. That's right, man. The serious things that I do consistently to work my brain out. So, again, I appreciate you guys rocking with me again. It's Medicine Ball with your boy LS3. If you ain't in shape, at least your brain should be. Check this beat, and we'll get right back to it. Let's go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Medicine Ball with your boy LS3. Focusing on giving your brain a six pack. But today, we're really focusing on giving your brain a six pack. That's right, because we're talking about the workout on today's episode. Hey, that was vibing. All right, man, back to it, man. Grind time, seg 2. It's time for the heavy lifting, man. Warning. These things are above and beyond what a normal person is probably willing to do, or something that I know people are not going to be able to just take out of. Well, I'm not going to say that. You might be. I hope you're able to take something out of them, but they're above average. So these are three things I do, the reasons behind them, just to give you an idea to get that brain in shape. All right, heavy lifting, man. The first one, learning a new language. Learning a new language, man. Learning for a new language. Now, my motivation behind learning a new language, and the language I'm currently engrossed in is Spanish, and I've been on it hardcore for almost a year. I'm not going to say I'm the most fluent. I can definitely hold a conversation, and I can more than better pick up on something. If I hear people talking in Spanish, I can also read and write in Spanish. But I had different motivations, man. I realized, there's a lot of people who speak that, and something I always wanted to do. And with today's technology, they make it extremely easy. If you're on your phone all the time, anyways, but it boosted anything. So I was about to shout out the name of the company, but I'm gonna holler at them first before I engross on this more. Anyway, learning a language. So they're out there. They're free apps out there, and you can go get them, whether it be Rosetta Stone, et cetera, and it makes it real neat, man. And what it does, the first thing that learning a new language is it opens you up to new information you wouldn't know if you were not native. For instance, man, when you think about learning a new language, you got to realize there's books we've never heard of, recipes we've never heard of, expressions we've never heard of, and things of that nature that you would never know if you can only speak one language. And it's just like it starts to open you. Now, here's the thing. I actually, after the fact, just looking on ways to work out my brain, found out that thing is on a lot of websites. It's on a lot of lists, opening it, and it talks about concentration. For me, it's a discipline thing to repetitively do it. I do it every single day for at least 30 minutes a day. I focus on that. My next step is Mandarin, but it opens you up to new info. Um, the second thing it does is opens you up to a new way of communication, and let me elaborate on that a little bit more. With Spanish, one word said with a different tone in your voice can mean multiple different things. For instance, and this is just an example, I don't want to get too engrossed, but K versus K, or, even if you ask a question, what I'm saying is it's really in your vocal expression as far as the pitch of your voice. I mean, I guess I'm still new, but I couldn't imagine texting somebody in Spanish. Like, you would have to know that person on another level in order to text them in Spanish, because it's too many tones in the voice that are required in order to convey your point. You know, I find that often, the way that we say things to people, like a lot of people say, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. When with me studying Spanish, I get that to the nth degree. Like, just a simple change of your tone can turn something that's a curiosity question to something disrespectful. So you got to be careful, and you got to pay attention to the tone. The way that you say it, it just means so much, and again, it can get expounding and it can get confusing, but it just opens you up to an idea. Like, I had to go back and give myself an English lesson. I had to go look up. I had to start from square one on the English side, noun, verb, right, and then get over into conjugating verbs and things of that nature. So just imagine, man, just doing all of that, and you're learning a language at the same time. You can imagine what you're doing for your brain. I do it every day. I'm dead serious about it. It lets me feel a certain way about tones. It gives me a way to communicate and opens me up to new information that I would not know about. Like, besides just speaking it, I'm reading and writing it as well. So it's a whole nother form of communication. It's like if you're around your American friends and say I'm American, if I come across somebody who speaks Spanish across a new mutual circle, it opens you up to something different. Right? So let me explain it in this type of way. If you're somebody who likes NASCAR, you may be in a group of people, and that one other person you find out likes NASCAR, bam. Now y'all are kind of like a click within a click. New experiences. They open up to you a different way. And it's just a way to experience so many things, but it's stiff. I will not hold you. So learning a new language, man, go look out there, man. They're out there, the programs or whatnot. I'll post it in our group. All right. The second thing, let's go ahead and get right into it, is meditation. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, but it should be for everybody. Meditation, in my experience, is reflection. It teaches you so many things: sensitivity, focus, reflection, discipline, just so much about meditation that is good for you. But I'm going to break down three quick little points for those people who are like, I can't do it. Like, I hear that all the time. I can't do it. I don't have time. It's too hard. I can't stop my mind from thinking. Let me break down why meditation is important really quick. And again, it's kind of hard because these are very, very complex things that we're getting into, but this is the heavy lifting phase of the workout. All right, so meditation. The first thing is meditation for me aligns directly with something else we're going to speak on in a later podcast, but the subconscious mind versus the conscious mind. And let me explain that real quick, layman's term. Conscious mind is like something you do voluntarily, reach for a drink or something like that, the way you react, speak, etc. Subconscious mind is things like your cells reproducing, things you don't control, your body healing, and breathing. Meditation is crucial because that's like one of the only things that is between your subconscious and conscious. For instance, when you're breathing, you can hold your breath. That's a conscious action. But when you're asleep, you're going to continue to breathe. That's subconscious. When you meditate, it allows you to control something that normally your subconscious takes care of and focus. So you're controlling something that you normally can't control. That's the first thing. The second thing is it's discipline. It ain't for everybody. It's discipline. It builds a discipline thing with me. Just like with my Spanish lessons, I'm like, man, if I don't meditate, I feel like I skipped a workout, which I did because you got to work every day. If I don't do anything else, if I don't read a book, these things that I'm speaking on right here, I got to do these every day. I got to get my set in, and there's no off days. So it helps a lot with discipline. Even trying it. Let me put it in perspective for you. Say you were to literally just try to meditate for 2 minutes every night. If you're able to do that for 7 days, you done built a routine and discipline, and you're starting to focus your mind on thinking a different way. People get too involved. I can't stop my brain. Just start doing something, investing in it. And that goes to my next point. Meditation should be similar to self care. Dealing with your mental state and your brain should be like self care. It should be like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. It's something that we should be doing every day. And it just amazes me how many people don't have time for their own mind and mental awareness. It's like self care. All right. So those are the three things. And you know what? Boom, bonus. Answers come in silence. Remember that. When you ask somebody a question, do you continue talking or you wait for a response? So if you're praying, if you're asking just up to the world, why me? Answers come in silence. You got to learn that. To the point I can just like literally sit in silence for an hour. Meditation, maybe not an hour, but at least a strong 30 minutes to 45 minutes. I can meditate and keep my thoughts from racing. It's a discipline thing. It just, you see the effects. It's something that you will see the effects. But if you stop, you will also see the effects. See, once I got consistent with it and I would take a break or something, it's just like when you work out, man. If you run those 2 miles every day and you skip a weekend, on Monday you're going to pay for it. And you might see a change in your mood. You might see a change in your perspective. So, again, it's those things, man. You control something that's normally controlled about your subconscious. And we're going to get into that in a later podcast. It helps with discipline. It should be self care. And answers come in silence. That's the meditation, right? All right, man. The third thing I call the specialty. So let me give an example of the specialty. A specialty is something that I focus on and try to drill it in for a while. So just to give you some examples that I've gone through, seeing through the eyes of love. The Bible talks a lot, and there's a lot of scripture about God wants you to see through the eyes of love. So I might take that and apply it like aggressively to everything. Somebody might do me wrong. I'm gonna make sure I'm seeing through the eyes of love. Maybe not judging. Like you got to be focused on not judging. Being overly kind, especially if you're a person who doesn't like people. Be overly kind, man. Like I don't know, man. I can just like I don't have a pride issue when it comes to that. Like I'll step on somebody's shoes if I'm at an event and have no problem saying sorry. And it's not a punk you out thing or anything. It's just like, man, be kind to people. Like I love the reaction when I'm nice to somebody who has a frown on their face. It shocks them. They don't know what to do. You know, it should definitely be something challenging for you. If you're somebody who doesn't like, for instance, right now, what I'm focusing on is when I listen to people, listening to hear them instead of listening to respond. That's something that I can work on every day. It's something that's challenging and challenges me. And it's something that makes me a better person overall when it comes to perspective. That's what I'm working on right now. At one point I was, and the Bible says, be quick to hear, slow to speak, slower to anger. I was focusing on that. It has to be something challenging, man. It can't be anything that you're going to blow off. It got to take you outside of your realm. And the idea behind it is drill it in, man. Do discipline. Do something different. All right. So those are the things, man. I told y'all that's heavy lifting. Learning a new language, meditation, and the specialty. Reach out to me, man. As you guys know, I got the Medicine Ball group page going up on Facebook as well as the like page you can like. Hit me up there if you want some more ideas or topic or if you want to discuss it. All right. So that was the heavy lifting. Whew, I know it's heavy. But it's calm down. It's almost over, man. This last seg, we're going to get to the cool down, the recovery, relaxing. You've done your thing. Chill out. Check this beat out. We're going to come back in the show on that note. Medicine Ball with LS3. If you're in shape, you know your brain should be. I'll be back with y'all after this beat. Yeah, yeah. Welcome back, welcome back. Medicine Ball with your boy LS3. Welcome. Today's podcast, we have been talking about the workout, the exercising of your brain. In the first seg, we talked about the warm up. That last seg was heavy. That was the heavy lifting. And now, the cool down, the recovery, man. All right. So it's important, man. I feel, especially when you're dealing with activities that are sensitive to how you think or key to your mental health or mental well-being or any type of activity that you want to focus on the thinking. I feel like it's important that you transition from whatever you're about to do that doesn't have to do with thinking, whether it be to go hang out, whatever you do. It's important the first thing you do is just like you warmed up, reflect. Don't just get up and rush from whatever you're doing. Take a second. It only takes a few moments to reflect on what happened, analyze it, understand it before you move on to your next activity. So that's the cool down, and here's the recovery. The cool down was simple, right? I know, I got y'all. Here's the recovery, and this goes into a tip and something that I feel like I do a little bit more than the average person does, and it helps me out a lot in wanting to learn, and that's to take initiative. Initiative is very very important, man, because that's an action you're basically doing without having to be told to do so. So whether you're dealing with maybe wanting to be serious about analyzing or diagnosing your mental health, whether you want to start dealing with an anger problem or a trust issue or a self-esteem issue, initiative is key. Just by listening to this podcast, you're already a part of the most beautiful thing, which is initiative to go out and get research. I'm the type of person, me personally, just to give you a quick example, down in the South, I'm in Georgia. I'm based out of Georgia, and there's always these balls on the power line, right? When you get up in the mountains and out on the deep expressway, there's these balls on the power line, and just simple as that, that people might see and want to know about. I take the time to stop and go look it up to find out what it was. So if you want to know what it is, I'm going to give you this chance to practice initiative and go check it out yourself, all right? So that's it, man. Initiative is very important, man. Whether it's doing the right thing or standing up for something you believe in or taking an action in your life, take initiative, man. So that's it. The cool down is just to make sure you transition into a smooth recovery. And I purposely made this super short because I knew the last one was heavy. And if you go back and listen to the segs, then you'll see that just listening to this was a mental workout in a way. Your brain started off smooth, then I went into talking about the heavy thing, and now we're calm back down, man. It's all about perspective. You've already gotten your workout in if you listen today. All right? So, I just want to take this ending time to put a few pieces of information out there. First of all, if you need to email me, I didn't know, and I appreciate you guys for listening, that I was going to get overwhelmed. So, if you need to email me, you can reach out to me at medicineballls and then the number three. Medicineballls3 at gmail.com. If you want to email me for any questions about maybe therapy or something personal you're dealing with and just want my insight. Again, I'm not a doctor, but being that I have been diagnosed and dealt with extreme situations of anxiety and all that, I have a little bit of an insight on it. So email me there. Also, we got the Facebook group, Medicine Ball. The Facebook group is available. Go jump on that. It'll make it easier for you to share with your friends. It'll make you easier to reach out to like-minded individuals. And I want to build up some courage, man. We got to be okay with addressing it, mental health, and not thinking that it's taboo or it's a bad thing or it makes you weird. We got to get out of that. Go join the page because I'm gonna start running some specials and I'm gonna start running some contests, and I'm gonna make them heavy contests because I know that people don't like to talk about mental health. So I'm gonna really put something in there to give you guys some initiative. You like how I brought that back? So it's a group and it's a Facebook page. Go add, man. Other thing, I'm available on all platforms, man. All platforms. Anchor, Apple, Google Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify. I'm available on all platforms under Medicine Ball. Go link up. I want to build a community of us to be able to speak with one another and have something worth helping other people because I'm real big on that. I'm gonna come with a Medicine Ball Instagram page. For now, you can still follow me at the Real LS3 on Instagram, and send it to your friends, man. I want it to be something that if you see somebody post something about depression or something cryptic, and you feel like what I'm saying may help them, I want it to be a very accessible, so you guys can just send it out. A lot of people are on the too cool for school thing, and we're trying to get away from that, man. We about doing better. We about working out our brain and bettering ourselves as a person and a perspective, which will ultimately lead to success when it comes to dealing with the things in our life. All right. So I'm also about to launch a YouTube. Some of you guys don't know what I look like. A lot of you do. I'm gonna launch a YouTube. So coming forward here, I hope to start making these podcasts available as a video on YouTube as well. Um, hey, it's still me, man. I still work out my brain. I am a person, like I said, with my diagnosis. It's still a workout. It's a challenge for me sometimes every day. But you guys inspire me. You guys who look out to me, you're inspiring me. When I don't feel like recording, you guys are the reason I record, man. And if I could just touch one person, I'm cool with that. All right. So go follow, share, let your friends know about Medicine Ball, the family, man, where we discuss mental health, mental strength, mental illness, mental consciousness, man. Everything having to do with your mental, man. Medicine Ball with LS3. If you're in shape, at least your brain should be, man. Y'all have a great week. Catch you next week with another podcast. Reach out if you need me. Remember, you got this. I believe in you. Gone.